Good morning, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So happy, so excited, so ecstatic, so elated to have this wonderful opportunity to lead you today in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, normal, and necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how it is revealed on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout, "Good morning, good morning, good morning," because morning is a good thing. And we trying to shout it out loud to let the people know that it's good to mourn. It's good to mourn as you navigate through your situations and circumstances, your loss, your change, your transition. Mourning is the key to getting through it all. So, thank you for joining us on today. Excited about our devotion. Make sure you like, share, tag somebody in this post. If it's a blessing to you, if you know there's somebody that's dealing with loss, change, and transition, this could be a part of their healing. So make sure you tag them in it. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 242. This message is for me and for you. We're going to talk about I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. When I first read that, it made me think of Kevin Hart, that joke when he says, "No, no, I wasn't ready." Right? Kevin Hart did this stand up, the comedian. He was like, "No, I wasn't ready." And when I read that, y'all, as it relates to our grief, as it relates to the loss, as it relates to what we have going through, guess what? We weren't ready, right? When Pops died, I was like, "No, no, 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 I wasn't ready." I didn't see that coming. When my sister died, no, 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 I wasn't ready, right? When we experience these losses, right, the reality is we wasn't ready. We weren't ready for this. We didn't anticipate this. We didn't see this. This wasn't on our radar, right? That we were not ready spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically to endure this loss. Let's talk about it, y'all. I wasn't ready for this death. Even if it was expected, I still wasn't really ready. Sometimes things happen out of the blue. Somebody dies, this, that, and the other. Sometimes this is what we call anticipatory grief. You're anticipating somebody dying. The writing is on the wall, but they haven't died yet. They're in hospice, or the doctors said this is a matter of days or weeks or whatever the case may be. Even when we can anticipate it, guess what? The finality of it still puts us in a position to where we wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. Somebody that you've known perhaps all your life, for a great part of your life, that life has now come to an end. Who prepares for that? Who prepares to not have somebody in their life, right? Who's ready for that, right? Who's ready for that? And so I wasn't ready for this death. Even if it was expected, I still wasn't really ready. The finality of death always comes as a shock. There's no preparing for it. There's no magical grief preventive. This is so very true, y'all. Again, even if it's expected, even if it's anticipated, even if you know it's coming, the finality of it, it still can shock the shock out of you, right? The finality of it still puts you in a place where you are not fully prepared to embrace this reality. The finality puts you in a place to where, man, no, we were not really ready, right? We still hope for more time, more minutes, more moments so that we can make more memories. We weren't done having fun. We weren't done fellowshipping. We were not done, right? We've only just begun, right? And so what do you do when you find yourself in a position to where you wasn't ready? But now there's no changing what has happened. There's no changing what has transpired. There's no changing what has taken place. So what do? I love it, y'all, because here it is. I dislike feeling blindsided. I hate having the rug pulled out from under me. But that's exactly what happened. We was blindsided. The rug was pulled out from under us. You was blindsided. You didn't see this coming. The rug was pulled out from under you. World flip, turn upside down. What do? What happens? Now I'm working on mustering the courage to surrender to the reality. Ooh, wait. I'm working on mustering the courage to do what? To surrender to the reality. So many of us, we have to surrender to the reality of what it is. And this is the challenge, y'all. This is across the board. This is any loss, change, or transition. Lose your car, you got to surrender to the reality that you no longer have that car. Lose your job. At some point in time, you're thinking about the workers, the co-workers, you had fun and y'all had a good time and all this and break times and all. And at some point in time, you got to surrender to the reality, right? That this is what it is. Break up with somebody. You surrender to the reality that we're no longer together. Let somebody transition. You got to surrender to the reality. And that's where we wrestle because I wasn't ready and this ain't what I wanted. And that's where we wrestle. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. And I don't want to believe it, but I know it's the truth. But I'm having a hard time comprehending it. And y'all, we got to surrender to the reality of what is, right? We get to a place of acceptance. We get to a place of surrendering to the reality. This is the nature of my situation. And I want to say, I don't know, the quicker, the faster we get there, right? And it's not a race, but the quicker we can surrender to the reality of this is what it is, right? Then we can begin to take the necessary steps to begin to move forward. We can begin to take the necessary steps of dealing with it in the way that it needs to be dealt, right? And so, yeah, it's surrendering to the reality of what is, right? And so I'm mustering up the courage to surrender to the reality. Resistance to what is only called resistance to what is only causes me more suffering. Oh my God, this is so true. Resistance to what is only causes me more suffering. And that's the wrestle. So many of us, we resist to what is that causes us more suffering. We resist to what is. And I hate using this as an analogy because they abuse their power so much. But when you think about resist. When you think about resist, people talk about resisting arrest. Don't resist. Don't resist. And y'all know what happens. We even when we don't resist, we still end up shot and dead and all this other stuff. But it's the whole notion of surrender without resisting, right? And there are, in most, I want to say in most cases, I hope and pray that's the case. When you surrender without resisting, you surrender peacefully, right? In most cases. But so many of us in that particular instance, if you resist, it makes it harder, right? It makes it harder for us to begin to accept the reality of what is. I'm getting locked up. That's the reality. I'm getting locked up. But we resist it. And so we fight instead of surrendering to the reality of what is. And when you resist, it makes it more complicated, right? That's when you start to get hit. That's when you start to get tased. That's when, depending on the nature of the resistance, you may even get shot, you lose your life. That it makes it harder, right? And if you can understand that about that example, right, then understand that about life. When we have resistance to what is, it makes it harder. When we have resistance to what they don't want you no more, right? But when you got resistance to what that is, to what is, and you trying to hang on to somebody that don't want you no more. Fantasia said, if you don't want me, don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. But when you fight that, it makes it more complicated, right? The resistance to what is, the resistance to what, and that, man, that can relate to any situation or circumstance. So the quicker you're able to understand this is what it is, right? I've come to a place of acceptance. Let me start to move forward within this new normal. The quicker you get to that point, right? And I ain't talking about getting over it, this, that, and that, but you start the journey because you come to that place and there is no resistance to what it is. The sooner you can get there, I'm telling you, the quicker you can start the process. But as long as you resist what is, right? As long as you resist the reality of what the situation is, um, it can just bring complications to it. So check this out, y'all. Here's the final thought. Working on mustering the courage to surrender to the reality, resistance to what is, causes me more suffering. As hard as it is, I'm working to acknowledge the reality of this death. As hard as it is, I'm working to acknowledge the reality of this death. As hard as it is, I'm working to acknowledge the reality of this death. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 242. I told you this lesson was for me and for you. I wasn't ready. Y'all got any questions today? Questions, comments, anything that you want to drop on today? Questions, comments. I appreciate y'all joining us. I appreciate y'all so very much. Chantel, thank you for joining us. Thank you so very much for joining us. Chantel recently lost her daughter. Praying for you as you navigate through that. Um, I know it's within the last month, I believe, and so you are fresh within this loss, this change, and this transition that you are experiencing. So lifting you up. This relationship grief is way out of my depth chart. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. It's something else. I'm telling you. It's a lot that goes along with it, right? We still need to connect too, Lauren. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Any questions? Y'all got any questions, comments? Questions, comments? Questions, comments? I appreciate y'all presence. Remember, y'all, small steps lead to great distances. This is the daily devotion, strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. One day at a time. That's how we got to take it. We got to take it one day at a time. One day at a time, right? One day at a time. We navigate. Happened last week. Yeah, I'm struggling to breathe and wonder how to control my anxiety. Yeah, if you need to go to the hospital, call them. You might have to, because yeah, the anxiety will overtake you. Panic attacks, all of those things can come up on you, right? And sometimes you just got to sit in the moment. When you have those type of things that happen, you got to sit in the moment and breathe. Be mindful of your breathing, right? Deep breaths in and out, and definitely get some help as you navigate through this. Yeah. Yeah, you may want to see your primary care physician too if you need something to kind of help, control that because that can be overwhelming. Yeah, please be gentle with yourself. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all continue to keep Chantel lifted up. Lost her child, lost her daughter. Y'all keep showing up every single day. We're here every single day at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. every single day. Just giving you nuggets to help you to navigate through what you're going through. And so I appreciate y'all. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. I hope y'all have a thriving Thursday. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's go.